Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Monday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini, and whew, what a weekend we are coming off of, and what a Monday, a mega Monday, a victory Monday live stream we are going to have today. I hope that all of you, after that wild weekend of sports filled with action across many different sports leagues, I hope you all are doing well coming out of that. And it was absolutely insane because today we have got a lot to talk about. With all of that happen, I'm not joking. This may be the most jam-packed news-wise live stream for a Monday that we have had in this channel's history. Crazy stuff, news left and right for all three of the Pittsburgh professional sports teams, plus more. The Steelers, they are coming off a fantastic team win overseas in Dublin, Ireland, over the Minnesota Vikings. The Pittsburgh Penguins, just a couple of nights ago, they had a very touching and heartfelt send-off for one of their franchise legends. And for the Pittsburgh Pirates, they just wrapped up their season over the weekend. But that is not what we are going to talk about today. Today, they extending a fan favorite member of the organization, while at the same time announcing that quite possibly the most hated executive man in charge in Pittsburgh sports right now, it is announced that he is coming back. So tons to get into here today. Lots to talk about, lots to break down, lots to analyze. We are not going to waste any time, and we are going to get to it immediately. However, first things first, if you're new here to the channel, as normal, if you are new here, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I'm live again. Also, feel free to hit the like button, hit the share button, and leave any comments in the comments section that you may have. Thoughts, questions, or opinions, get those in there. And, of course, go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And come back later tonight. Tune in a new edition of SCSR60. Quite honestly, I have no clue how the hell I'm going to be able to get all of the good stuff we're going to talk about today into just a 60-second video. But I'm going to try my damnedest later tonight. So let's hop right into it, ladies and gentlemen. First story of the day. First of four big stories today in the Pittsburgh sports world. We, of course, are going to start with the professional football team, the Pittsburgh Steelers. They are coming off of a fantastic weekend over in Dublin, Ireland. Croke Park in Dublin was the setting yesterday for the first ever NFL regular season game to be played in Dublin, Ireland, between the Minnesota Vikings and, very fittingly, your Pittsburgh Steelers. Before we get into what went down in the game itself, I just want to give a shout out to the fans over there in Dublin. And I want to give out a shout out to them. If any of them may happen to come across this live stream, you folks were electric. Over 74,000 people in the stands there at Croke Park. 80 to 90% of those fans, I would say, were Steelers fans. Your energy was off the chart. And here, live streaming the game yesterday, talking about, what all was going on, I could feel through the TV screen 3,000 plus miles away from Ireland back here in Pennsylvania. It felt like a playoff game atmosphere. That was something surreal that I'm sure was, electric for the players and coaches to experience in person. Just letting y'all folks know, back here in the United States, we felt it as well. So shout out to you guys. You were awesome. I hope you guys get a game soon, preferably with the Pittsburgh Steelers. So excited to see what comes down the line there in Ireland. All right. On to the game itself. 9:30 a.m. kickoff back here in the States. It wasn't the best first couple of minutes for the black and gold. They started the game with the ball on offense and had a competitive 3-and-out, followed by the Minnesota Vikings getting a field goal on their opening drive. The Steelers defense, they really had a bad deck of cards, given to them in this game. They had some key moments that could have been turnovers. not go their way. One of those on that opening drive, someone punched the ball loose from the Vikings running back, Jordan Mason. It was taken back to the end zone by Jalen Ramsey. That play was wiped out because Mason touched the ball out of bounds. So, that took that off the board like that, unfortunately. So that really did that. And after all that, Steelers, they ended up clicking on offense, all cylinders. Kenneth Gainwell, he punched one in the end zone on the ground to wrap up a 9-play, 71-yard touchdown drive. To begin the second quarter, Steelers defense, they had the Vikings punt quickly, and the Steelers cashed in just like that as well after hitting a quick whiff of the smelling salts after breaking the huddle. Aaron Rodgers to DK Metcalf on a slant for taking it to the house, running over a guy. In the process, a one-play, 80-yard touchdown right there between 8 and 4. Rodgers on a different level, hitting the smelling salts and then going out there and doing that. That was crazy. Making things even better, Steelers defense, they kept the Vikings down. A returning Deshaun Elliott picking off Carson Wentz. Not sure if the ball was tipped at the line, but Deshaun Elliott, he was greatly missed by this defense, by the secondary. Comes back, makes a splash play just like that. The Vikings defense, they saw the Steelers make a splash play defensively, and then they came through with a stop of their own. Black and gold on the doorstep of the end zone. Their drive stalled. We're settling for 3. Chris Boswell, his chip shot field goal was blocked. Similarly, the Vikings offense, they came close to a touchdown, couldn't score, but their field goal was good, and the game went into halftime. Steelers up 14-6. After half, each team exchanged 3 and outs, but it was the Steelers defense who made a big play again, a little bit into the Vikings drive out of half. On 3 straight plays, the Steelers pass rush, they just pinned their ears back and they got after Carson Wentz. Deshaun Elliott, he came in, had a strip sack of Carson Wentz, but the Vikings recovered it. TJ Watt, he then went and sacked Wentz for a 5-yard loss. And then Watt, finishing it off, struck. He got up there, self-tip, pass up in the air, intercepted by him at the line of scrimmage. Ran it back a little bit, set up the Steelers offense in prime real estate into Vikings territory. The Steelers offense, they went and capitalized off of that. Were able to tack on another touchdown on the ground with Kenneth Gainwell. That was just 5 plays to the end zone there. Another 3 and out from the defense in the black and gold on another drive. 3 points, made it 24-6. And to start the fourth quarter, Steelers up by 3 scores. Little over 11 minutes left to go. Sounds like the Steelers, they could have cruised to an easy dub, right? Nope. Wouldn't be a Steelers game if Mike Tomlin and the team didn't give us heart complications and migraines. Running hurry-up offense, Steelers defense, they suck at that. The Vikings, they went on a 9-play, 70-yard touchdown drive, got a 2-point conversion on top of it. Steelers offense, they did have a chance to close out the game, but Aaron Rodgers in the Steelers offense, they pleaded to go for it on 4th and goal from the 3. The Vikings D stopped them. Kenneth Gainwell tried to run it in. The Vikings defense stopping them at the 1 for a turnover on downs. 2 plays into the following drive, Carson Wentz hitting Jordan Addison wide open down the sideline. Peyton Wilson showing incredible hustle, tracking down Addison at the 1-yard line, holding that big play to just an 81-yard gain instead of an 82-yard touchdown. Now, eventually, Vikings, they did put it in the end zone to make it 24-21. Another punt from the Steelers offense, who were trying to melt the clock out with the run. That did not work. Vikings, they got the ball back. 1:02 on the clock. I believe they had no timeouts. And they had a chance, an opportunity to tie the game and even win the game, which was once thought to be impossible. Vikings approaching midfield. Carson Wentz, 2 costly mental error penalties and intentional grounding and a delay of game, wound up making it 4th and 17 for the Vikings. And Wentz, game on the line, back to pass. Deshaun Elliott, the returning Deshaun Elliott, made one last big play to force an incompletion. That wraps up the ball game. Final score, as you see there on your screen yesterday morning, Steelers 24, Vikings 21. Minus that little heart attack there at the end of the game, I must say that was one of the better team wins that the Steelers have had in quite a while. I'll admit it, heading into that game, not much hope. I thought that the Vikings, even though they were still dealing with their fair share of injury woes, that they were going to be the superior, schemed up and coached team. And the black and gold, they surprised me. They went there. They got on offense early. They clicked early. Run game was very, very good yesterday. The passing game, for the little bit Aaron Rodgers he did well. And the defense, they continued doing their thing. Got pressure on Wentz all game long, forced more turnovers. That's their bread and butter. If they can put 60 minutes of football together in all of their games for the rest of the season, playing like that, then they might actually have something going heading into playoffs to where they might actually be able to win a couple of playoff games, make a run, who knows. But the way the offense and defense played complementary football yesterday, very, very exciting. So let's just hope that this upcoming bye week doesn't kill their momentum that they built up in this game. It is coming at a good time, the bye week. Early bye week, we complain about it. Why is it so early? You could use that later in the season. This bye week might actually be coming at a damn good time with the injury situation for this team. More on that here in a little bit. And just to, finish tying up loose ends on both sides of the ball. It wasn't a perfect game for them, but it was better. Consistently but slowly trajecting upward is this football team. Apologies there as I get a drink of water. Going to need it a lot today for this live stream. Immediately after the game yesterday, Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin had his post-game press conference, and as you can guess, a very emotional Tomlin after the game here. Let me pop this up right here. Dare I say almost to tears in his opening for the press conference, and understandably so. Tomlin saying, quote, "We talked a lot about the great Ambassador Rooney last night. I know he's smiling at us today, man. It's just an honor to fulfill his vision, to bring the NFL and NFL football to Dublin, and been thinking about him a lot on the personal level. So I'd be remiss if I didn't say that. That win yesterday, I said it on the final play of the game when the Steelers sealed it. That win was for one Dan Rooney, smiling down from heaven above. Did great stuff for this Steelers team as an owner, but also for the game of football and for, society in general as a U.S. ambassador to Ireland. Getting the Steelers to play a regular season game in Ireland meant the world of him. Tomlin knew it. Art Rooney, the second current Steelers owner, he knew it. He gave a speech to the team before they flew to Dublin Thursday night. And you could clearly tell the way this team went out and played that they were playing for something beyond themselves, bigger than themselves, and they knew it. So a playoff type performance from that team. Additionally, Tomlin said, just can't express enough the reception that we got here. It's an honor to represent American football here in Dublin. TJ Watt, he had similar feelings, saying that the fans were absolutely incredible today. They are everywhere, and they are incredible. It was a fun atmosphere today. Cool stuff there. Other players, they confirmed that this game meant more, especially for Tomlin. Patrick Queen, he said that Tomlin was teary-eyed talking about Mr. Rooney, Dan Rooney, on Saturday, and Peyton Wilson, who had an outstanding game. More on him here in a minute. He said, when you see your leader cry for his leader, it makes you want to give it your all. So very special moment, very special win for the Steelers in Ireland yesterday. Deshaun Elliott, he had a great game, said that he should have picked off the game-sealing deflection. He said further that the interception that he had in the first half of the game meant a lot to him personally, because going back to his MCL sprain in week 1 against the Jets, he said that he thought initially that injury was going to be a season ender. So he and all of us are really very grateful that he is with this team right now. After the game, last bit of quotes here, post-game, Aaron Rodgers, he said that, of course, the Steelers offense, they needed to finish the game off and not put the defense on the field. But that quote was far from the most notable thing that he said. As he was walking off the field, Rodgers, I think he had the Steelers media phone there giving a shout out to Steelers Nation and all that, said that he would love to come back to Ireland next year. And another time he said, hopefully a yearly return by us or to other teams. I don't know about y'all guys. You got to go back and watch the videos themselves. Sounded to me like Rodgers was speaking like he's going to be back next year, or at least he wants to come back next year. If that's the case, I'm cool with it. The way he's been slinging the rock all over the yard, he's been very professional with this team. This offense looks 10 times better than any offense that we've seen since Big Ben retired. So if Rodgers wants to come back for one more year at this rate, I'm willing to do it. However, let's wait and see how the rest of the season plays out. At one point in time, we did say, re-sign Russell Wilson. And since then, we've been saying that 0-9 in his last 9 starts. So as of right now, Rodgers coming back, A-okay with that. Let's just wait and see how things trickle out the rest of the year. Rodgers, he also said that ESPN made a clickbait article about him, taking his comments from, I believe, Friday, saying that he wanted to come over to Dublin earlier out of context. So the unnecessary slander of Aaron Rodgers and his character, don't you worry, that still lives on. I just hope that Rodgers, I think he did, he and the team, they got their victory Guinnesses afterwards on the plane ride back home. So that is what happened in the game itself. Just a few winners in maybe a tiny bit of losers from yesterday's football game. Mostly the winners here. Some winners from yesterday's Steelers victory over the Vikings. The offensive trio of Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, Kenneth Gainwell, those guys, they were the three-headed monster that just absolutely got that offense dominating yesterday. We're going to stick with Rodgers here since we just mentioned him. Showed, again, some 4-time MVP level stuff. He was cerebral, he was calculated, and he did a hell of a job, honestly, reading the defense, diagnosing whatever Brian Flores was throwing at him, and adjusting accordingly. 18 for 22, not, the most throws that Rodgers has thrown in the game, but he did his job. 18 for 22, 200 yards exactly, 1 passing touchdown. With that performance yesterday, Rodgers passing the aforementioned Big Ben Roethlisberger for 6th most completions in NFL history. So congratulations to Rodgers on that. Also, a couple other things on Rodgers. He, when under duress, showed encouraging movement around and out of the pocket, was moving quite well when the pocket was collapsing around him, even got out for a first down run. Of course, he fumbled the ball and Broderick Jones picked it up and ran over someone afterwards, but him just scampering for that first down, very uplifting that he isn't just the statue that we all thought he was going to be coming into the year. He still has that mobility a little bit, and if the time comes, he's able to, get some yardage when nothing is open downfield. So that was very positive for 8 in black and gold. On to his top target, DK Metcalf. True wide receiver 1 things from him yesterday. 5 catches, 126 yards and a touchdown, that 80-yard catch and go. He just looked like a man amongst boys out there. I said it heading into the game yesterday. The Vikings secondary, smaller, one of the smaller secondaries in terms of height in the NFL. I wanted to see Metcalf get going early and often because we know that he is just going to bully those guys, and that's exactly what happened. So very happy that we got to see that, his best game of the year thus far. And last, but certainly not least, in the first winner category, Mr. Kenneth Gainwell. What's that quote from Shaquille O'Neal? It was on NBA, post game or something. I'm sorry, I wasn't familiar with your game. Turns out we all are sorry, and we're not too familiar that Kenneth Gainwell had that game to him. No Jaylen Warren yesterday for the Steelers. A surprise inactive before the game. I think he'll be all right. They just wanted to give him an extra week off to rehab that knee injury. So Gainwell's snaps offensively, they were guaranteed to go up. But what he did, where the hell did that came from? 19 carries, 99 rushing yards, just 1 yard shy of 100. I would have liked to see him break it. 2 rushing touchdowns, 113 all-purpose yards for Kenneth Gainwell yesterday. Really made a name for himself, and he gave me, and I'm sure all of us, a lot more hope moving forward about the running back depth of this team. When Jaylen Warren was clearly the guy for the first 2 weeks of the season, first 3 weeks of the season, you thought, okay, Kenneth Gainwell, he's just going to be, a third down back. Caleb Johnson, he's struggling out of the gates. We're needing to elevate guys from the practice squad like Trey Sermon. But Gainwell, if you need him to fill in as a RB1 in a pinch for a game, he can clearly do it. That was awesome seeing him from yesterday. People in Ireland, they're going to think he is like Le'Veon Bell or something like that. But outstanding stuff from Kenneth Gainwell in that offensive trio yesterday. Another winner from yesterday's game, this one pretty easy. Peyton Wilson, Steelers linebacker. A rocky start to the season. Nobody's going to, deny that, but he's come along quickly. Peyton Wilson has yesterday his best game of the season, 13 total tackles, 2 TFLs. But most importantly, that humongous, in hindsight, track down of Jordan Addison to prevent that fourth quarter touchdown for the Vikings. Couple of things on that, rundown. Wilson, according to NFL Next Gen Stats, was tracked running at a speed of 22.48 miles an hour to track down Jordan Addison there. That is the fastest speed that a linebacker has been tracked at since the introduction of Next Gen Stats in 2016. So Peyton Wilson, the man with no ACL, you might remember, had those injuries in college. The fastest a linebacker has ever been tracked, as far as we know, in NFL history. So that was insane in of itself. More importantly, tackling Jordan Addison inside the 5. I believe they marked him down at the 1 or 2 yard line. That saved a touchdown. That also cost the Vikings 61 seconds of crucial clock time. It took them another minute to score a touchdown there instead of Addison finishing off that drive. So that tackle, shaving valuable time off the clock, couldn't have been more important in the Steelers securing that victory. I'm not going to say that Wilson has completely figured it out yet, but it was a very promising game from him, and I think it's clear he is using his instincts more. He is just going out there, being a football player, being a natural guy that he is, that won him the Bucs Award back in college for best linebacker in college, using his instincts, just being, pro-reactive instead of reactive out there on the field. So love seeing that from Wilson. Hopefully he gets to continue that here. The last of the big winners that I have here, and there are plenty that I can get to, Wisconsin football. They are a big winner for yesterday's game. No, I'm not talking about the University of Wisconsin football team currently. There was a video out there of them, picking who they predict is going to win the game in Ireland, and the majority of them said the Steelers. Instead, I am talking about the Wisconsin Badger products that are on this Pittsburgh Steelers defense right now. TJ Watt, Nick Herbig, Keanu Benton. All three outstanding yesterday for that Steelers defense. Starting with TJ Watt, of course, you got to start with the big guy here. It is now 2 weeks in a row we've seen him get back to his old defensive player of the year self. Doesn't look like last week against the Patriots was a fluke. He probably back all the way back, 5 tackles, 1 sack, 1 TFL, a pass defense, and an interception as well. So great stuff there from him. Sure, he did rack up those stats going up against the backup right tackle that came in for the injured Brian O'Neill. But I'm going to be honest, even if O'Neill does play that entire game, I'm not sure that stat line for TJ Watt is too far different from that. So outstanding stuff from Watt. He still an animal, a game wrecker off the edge. A guy who is quickly following in his footsteps of being a game wrecker, Nick Herbig. Another week for him, another fantastic performance. Looks like he is just outmatching left tackles, and he's constantly getting pressure on the quarterback, making splash plays. 5 total tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 3 quarterback hits. By the way, I just said Herbig getting pressure on quarterbacks. No one's going to tell you this. As a matter of fact, I'm going to whisper it into the microphone here. Nobody's going to tell you this. Nick Herbig, number 2 in the NFL in pass rush win rate. That is above Aiden Hutchinson of the Detroit Lions, Will Anderson of the Houston Texans, and nobody tell PFF this, better than Myles Garrett for the Cleveland Browns. Nick Herbig, pass rush win rate, that won Myles Garrett a Defensive Player of the Year award. Nick Herbig, better than him right now. Crazy. What a world we live in. Anyway, this performance also just solidified for Herbig that he's making a hell of a case that even when Alex Highsmith returns from injury, you could see Herbig start out-snapping Highsmith at right outside linebacker. I hate saying that. I love Highsmith. We all do. Great guy. Also is a pretty decent player. But, man, what's Mike Tomlin say? Best ability is availability. Herbig taking massive advantage of Alex Highsmith on the shelf right now with injury. So that'll be a very interesting scenario that Mike Tomlin and the coaching staff will have to address. Lastly here, of the Wisconsin boy winners, Keanu Benton played like an absolute monster yesterday. Kind of like Kenneth Gainwell. Where the hell did that come from? More importantly, where the hell has that been? That is the type of stuff that we saw from him at Wisconsin, and he finally brought it out, was a game wrecker just as much as anyone else on that defense, and quieted the haters for at least another week here. 4 tackles for Benton, 1.5 sacks, 1 tackle for loss, 3 quarterback hits. I hope that isn't just a one-off for him. We are all hoping that this Keanu Benton shows up more often than whatever the hell he's been for, I'd say, the past year and a half. So great stuff from him. In reality, just every player on the Steelers roster, great yesterday. Last thing here, those 3 players, many more, those 3 and many more, 24 quarterback pressures produced at least by the Steelers yesterday against Carson Wentz. They also, the defense, now 7 turnovers caused in their last 2 games, 10 on the season. I think both of those by far most in the NFL. So outstanding stuff from the defense. In reality, like I said, just about every player on the Steelers roster is a winner from yesterday's game, except for a few. Don't mean to call these guys out, but, you know, if I say their names, people will probably not forget about them. Pat Freiermuth, Roman Wilson, those 2 offensively, they are MIA right now. Wilson, I don't think he can get on the field on offense. Freiermuth, when he's out there, he's just running cardio. So hopefully those 2 are able to, you know, get an opportunity and start making some splash plays soon. Also, Jabril Peppers filled in for Deshaun Elliott when he was injured. Now that Elliott's back, not a single, zero, nada, no defensive snaps played for Jabril Peppers yesterday. So I hope during this bye week they still find some way to get him out on the field. Can he go out there, coexist in a world where Deshaun Elliott is on this defense? I hope so. But yeah, tons of great performances yesterday by Steelers players. If I had to list them all, I would be here all night. Some others that I didn't go in depth on, Broderick Jones, he had a solid game, pass protecting, also had that recovered fumble. Patrick Queen had a couple of sacks as well. He was everywhere. And of course, like I just said, Deshaun Elliott. I think I mentioned how fantastic he did in the game recap, but glad to have him back. By the way, Elliott, 10 out of 10 on the Irish jig that he did. So one more time, like I said, great win for the Steelers. They play like that every week. It's hard not to have optimism for them moving forward for the rest of the season. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 5 of you in here right now. Welcome to the live stream. If you are new, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. Please, comment section is open. Any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have on anything related to Pittsburgh sports right now, we have a ton to talk about. Get those in there. We're going to talk just a tiny bit more about some news regarding the Steelers here. Will be not too long here in a moment. After that, on to the Pittsburgh Pirates. Tons of news around them today. Not all of it good, which, kind of status quo for the Pirates. And then after that, we'll get into some Pittsburgh Penguins hockey. Just real quick, let me get a drink. Man, really dry mouth I got today. Guess a perfect day here for the all the Pittsburgh sports teams to have tons of news. Anyways, like I said, into some extra Steelers news right now. Not extra Steelers news, but the other big news story today here for the Steelers, and that is talking about the injury front. Like I said, this bye week cannot come at any better of a time for the Steelers because they are hobbled right now injury-wise. Let's just talk about who did not play yesterday in the game for the Steelers. They already got a couple of guys on IR, Max Sharping, Isaiah Loudermilk. Yesterday, Jaylen Warren was thought initially that he was going to be good to go yesterday for the Steelers, but he was held out with his knee injury. Joey Porter Jr. still trying to come back from a hamstring injury. He was questionable yesterday, did not go. And Alex Highsmith, who we just talked about a moment ago, he did not go over to Ireland, still on the get back from a hamstring injury, I believe, or a groin. High ankle sprain. Where did I get it? I think those are his previous injuries, groin, hamstrings. So you just assume that it's something like that he's had. But it's a high ankle sprain for him. So those are just the guys that didn't play yesterday for the Steelers. Into the game itself, trouble in paradise. Let's start with the big one here. Jalen Ramsey injured yesterday for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Originally gave us a scare on that false scoop and score touchdown he had. It was a part of his celebration, was sort of gripping his hamstring and then, hit the gritty dance. So I assume that was a joke. Turns out, ended up causing some self-karma there, foreshadowed his own future. I believe he was covering a double move route on Jordan Addison, ended up pulling his hamstring. He limped off the field. Trainers were looking at him on the sideline bench. Went back into the game for a little bit, but then I think he did not finish. So hamstring injury from him. Again, the soft tissue injuries for the Steelers. When does it end? When does this, strength and conditioning staff that somehow survived last season, when are they going to be held accountable that these soft tissue injuries, hamstrings, groins, they are never ending with this team? It's the same stuff every time. So that's very frustrating, especially now it's with your one of your best players on defense. In addition to Ramsey, a couple other injuries yesterday. Calvin Austin, I think this was in the second half. He went down hard on his shoulder, ended up with a shoulder injury, got put into an ambulance with his shoulder in a sling. But I think, for what it's worth, there was no x-ray machine reportedly at Croke Park, so he had to go to the hospital to get an x-ray anyways. Nothing too serious there, hopefully. And then the last one, Brandon Eccles, another Steelers corner, went down chasing after a guy, I think, on the final drive of that game for the Vikings. Turns out it was just a really bad cramping in his calves there, so he'll be all right. Calvin Austin on the team flight home from Dublin tweeted out that great dub in Dublin. I'm all good, Steelers Nation. Appreciate the messages and concern. Cal, why did you get our hopes up? Why did you do that to us? Because turns out he was not all good, because Steelers insider, Steelers writer for the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Jerry Dulac, about, I'd say around midnight or 1 o'clock this morning, saying that, quote, Steelers can use the bye. Sources confirm corner Jalen Ramsey with a hamstring and wide receiver Calvin Austin III with a shoulder are expected to miss at least several games. Ramsey tried to return for the Vikings, didn't work out. So several games, Ramsey, Austin out for the black and gold. Absolutely terrible. I mean, already you're down one of your starting, defensive linemen in Highsmith, one of your starting corners in Porter, your starting running back didn't play yesterday. Now on top of it, you lose in Ramsey, probably, you can argue, your second best player on defense. He and TJ Watt, they are like popping back and forth right now between best player on this Steeler defense. So Ramsey, you're losing your best DB, a guy who pretty much single-handedly ended that game and won it for you in week 1. He's going to be out with a hamstring injury. And also you lose, on top of that, your de facto wide receiver 2 in Calvin Austin, which, sometimes goes missing for games. But, other times he's out there outrunning guys, making big splash plays. So that sucks. Both of those guys out. Will the Steelers address their absences? I don't know. I would hope so. At least for Austin. We can talk about Ramsey here and how great he is, how much he means to this defense. I think the Steelers, let's say Ramsey, you got the bye week here. Let's say each of those guys misses 2 games. All right. Several games here is what Dulac said. So let's say here, it's a 4-week injury. So they'll miss the 2 games after the bye against the Browns and Bengals. Honestly, I don't think you're kind of going to, need those guys to win those games anyway. Hopefully, at least. Bengals, terrible. Browns, just as bad. So with that, those 2 going to be out, let's say 2 weeks here. Ramsey, you're going to have Joey Porter coming back after the bye, I believe. Alex Highsmith, he shouldn't be too far off either. I think for 2 games against those 2 guys, you can live without Ramsey on the back end. You'll get Porter back. Elliott's back healthy. Brandon Eccles, he'll be all right. So I think you can live without Jalen Ramsey. However, on the other side here, dare I say, I don't think you can afford not to have Calvin Austin for any game, really. Look at the wide receiver position. We always look at it here for Steelers, but especially now, Calvin Austin out now. You got DK Metcalf. Who else are you going to have? Ben Skoranek, who's mainly a special teams guy. Scotty Miller, it was thought that he was going to be something, to this offense preseason. He's had, little contributions. Roman Wilson, he's collecting dust on the sideline. Maybe he gets an opportunity now with Austin out, but, it's very suspect now that Calvin Austin is out. We took him for granted, how much he means to this team, because now you're left with Metcalf and literally like nobody, the way they're using the wide receivers. So you lose your guy who's your de facto WR2. At least he before has been in a boat where he's been in the guy He's been the guy if the number one goes down. Last year we saw that with George Pickens getting injured. He didn't really, do that well of a job, but at least Austin has had experience being the team's number one in a pinch. But now your backup plan, if your number one goes down, is out. What happens if DK Metcalf all of a sudden, has a injury here? I'm hoping not. Knock on wood everywhere here. I'm knocking on all the wood in this, room right now. But if Metcalf goes down, you're going to have Roman Wilson, Scotty Miller, and Ben Skoranek be your top three wide receivers. So with that said, Ramsey, I think you can live without him for a couple of days. Porter's coming back. Elliott is back healthy. I think if it's only going to be a 2-game, missing injury for Ramsey, I'm cool with it. Austin, on the other hand, with the wide receiver depth currently, I'm going and getting wide receiver help. Hey, Miami, I know you said at the beginning of the year that you aren't really interested in Tyreek Hill. What do you say now that we, reopen the negotiation here? So I'm getting Miami on the phone asking about Tyreek Hill. I'm getting back in contact with the Raiders. They seem to be pretty bad to start the season. Geno Smith looks like he's ass. Good job on the Steelers not going after him and instead getting Rodgers. I'm calling for Jacoby Myers, opening up that line of communication again. Chris Olave, New Orleans Saints, they're 0-3. They're going to be a team hunting for the number one overall pick. Sure, he's just as injury prone as anyone else, but I'd, take a swing on bringing Olave here. At least he be, a legit WR2 when he's healthy. So, Steelers, they have got to address wide receiver in a big way now if Calvin Austin's going to miss any substantial amount of time. Because, Metcalf, with the depth behind him, very, very scary. And I know the Steelers use 2 tight end, 3 tight end sets a lot, but you're not really using those guys well either. Pat Freiermuth running cardio. Jonnu Smith, he's out snapping Muth by a little bit. He's still not getting as much targets or production that we would have expected coming off the year he did last year in Miami. Darnell Washington, he's the main guy getting all the snaps at tight end, but, half the time he's a run blocker, half the time he's just a specific red zone target. So, the skill position offensively right now for the Steelers, very, very concerning. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to switch gears now, 45 minutes into live stream tonight, into some Pittsburgh Pirates news. Pirates, dare I say, if the Steelers did not just play a big game in Ireland and get a big win in that Jalen Ramsey and Calvin Austin had major injuries, if all of that big news with the Steelers wasn't going on, this would be tippy top of the news for the day, and honestly would, warrant half an hour of conversation any other day. The Pirates today making big news. First off, here, they just wrapped up their season over the weekend, 3-game set against the Atlanta Braves. Honestly, who the hell cares? Season's been over for a while. Those games in that series, Pirates won 9-3 on Friday. Spencer Horwitz, 3 for 3 with 2 home runs. Solid ending to the season for him. Saturday, Pirates, again, they won 3-1 over the Braves. Bubba Chandler, excellent start for him in front of his hometown and his family. Henry Davis had a home run in that one. And then, typical Pirates, ending the season like they began it on a stinker. 4-1, they lost. Their final record of the 2025 season, 71-91. 5-game worser record than their previous 2 seasons at 76-86. It is also their 29th losing record since they last won a division title back in 1992. So a terrible year for the Buccos that mercifully gets put out the pasture. Thank God it's not going to be, torture when nothing else is on, turning them on. every single night and watching them suck. Also, forgot to mention this yesterday. The Pirates against the Braves. Congratulations to ground Chuck. Charlie Morton wraps up a career. I believe he only got 4 outs. Then he walked off the field to, friends and family. So congratulations to Morton. Hell of a career. Thank you for all you did here in Pittsburgh. Anyways, season's over. Thank goodness we can now maybe, I put that as a strong maybe, probably, leaning towards the pessimistic view of this, turn the page to next season. And this morning, not this morning, this afternoon around lunchtime, we got some good news, rare good news for the Pittsburgh Pirates. They, this afternoon, extending manager who is no longer the interim, Donnie Kelly, Pittsburgh kid, couldn't be any more happy with this bit of news here. Here is the announcement that the Pirates put out of Kelly getting extended right there. Awesome stuff. Couldn't be happier. Kelly coming in, I believe, May 9th was the date Greg Brown mentioned today. Came in May 9th in place of the just absolutely horrendous Derek Shelton. Kelly, in his time as Buccos manager throughout the rest of the year, a 59-65 record. So buzzed around 500 for, most of the time as the Buccos manager, and then a couple, losing streaks here and there pushed it the other way. The record at home for the Buccos, much better, 37-25. Team ERA, 3.59 with Kelly as manager, and their fielding percentage, which was absolutely terrible to begin the year, a damn good 988 fielding percentage since he took over as manager. So great stuff there from Kelly. Honestly, could not say any more positive things about the guy. Pittsburgh kid, played for the Buccos. Really just, he cares. That's all we ask for, really is for like the last year and a half of Derek Shelton's tenure. More on that coming up. Please stay tuned, because the most damning thing that I've read by a Pirates reporter came out today. We're going to get to that in a second. But Donnie Kelly, you can just tell he cares every single night. The team could be up by 10 or losing by 10. He's going to go out there and fight and compete with his players. So just great stuff from him. Hard worker, makes 10 times better decisions than Derek Shelton did. So glad that he is back. Some quotes from the Pirates when they announced this extension. This from Pirates chairman and owner Bob Nutting. Donnie has earned the respect of the players, front office, and our fans, and he certainly earned mine. He's the right fit at the right time and is the right person to lead us forward. Nutting was not done there. Said not too long after that, this season, we fell well short as an organization, both on and off the field. No shit. It has been unacceptable. Our focus must shift to execution, to delivering wins. Results are the only thing that matters. We owe it to our fans, to the city, and to the legacy of this team to get it right. Ben and everyone in the organization fully understands what is expected and that the work ahead demands urgency. Today's announcement of Donnie is the first of many steps we will take this offseason to bring winning baseball back to Pittsburgh. For those of you who have been here for a while, what is something that I've said time and time again? Everything that, inside that front office, everyone, anything they say, it's just window dressing and they don't mean it. Kind of par for the course here with what Nutting said. We must shift to execution and delivering wins. Yeah, no kidding, Bob. You know what? That shift to execution, who needs to do that as well as just as much as anyone in the front office or any player on the field or any coach? You have to do some executing as well. You have to provide the resources, the money to go out and make this team better. So, you here are Nutting are expecting a 5-course meal, but all you do is go out and you give these chefs, as good or bad as they may be, you go out there and you give them a, roadkill off the street, and you expect them to make filet mignon from it. So that's one thing on you, Nutting. Execution, we must shift to execution. Results are the only thing that matter. You, key part in that execution in getting those results here. So, yeah, that's good. We owe it to our fans, to the city, to the legacy of this team. Man, really did a blemish on that legacy. The team became officially a losing franchise all time earlier this year. So, yeah, you're doing a great job there with that legacy. The organization fell well short, both on and off the field. No kidding. I mean, on the field, we can get to on the field stuff here, but off the field, geez, just as bad of a season off the field as it was on the field. Bucco Bricks disaster, the Clemente Wall thing, the fan falling from the Clemente Wall, and Usher beating a guy with his belt, whole bunch of other stuff that I can't think of right now. So, yeah, just absolutely nightmarish. The only correct thing that Nutting said in that final statement there, today's announcement of Donnie is the first step of many. We will take this offseason to bring winning baseball back to Pittsburgh. It is a step. Donnie, keeping him as manager, the most easiest decision that a toddler could have made this offseason. Fans love him. Players play hard for him. So, yeah, that was a, layup of a decision. However, the most concerning thing from that comment there that Cherington, or that Nutting made, did anybody catch this line right here? Ben and everyone in this organization fully understands what is expected. Ben, meaning Ben Cherington, Nutting mentioning him in the future context, which means that he indirectly said there, we are going to have a blast. Ben Cherington, back as Pirates manager for, what is it, a seventh season now? We're going to head into year 7 of this rebuild now. So Ben Cherington is going to be back. That was confirmed by Nutting, more or less in that quote. Also, Kelly Cherington, they had a press conference at 3:30 today. Ben Cherington, he reportedly told reporters that he has received assurance he will remain as Pirates GM. He said he's fired up to keep working with Don Kelly, so keep working. Assurances that he's going to be back. Ben Cherington, the genius of analytics and bringing in guys who are past their prime or who cannot hit a baseball, and he's going to, use the power of analytics and numbers to get the most out of those guys. Doesn't sound like there is going to be any sort of improvement with this team. So that's all fun. Ben Cherington, assurance he is going to be back. Also, to, put the icing on the cake that he for sure is going to be back, Pirates president Travis Williams, he spoke as well not too long after Kelly and Cherington. His quote here on Ben Cherington continuing as general manager, quote, I think given where this team is at this point in time, the strengths that we have in terms of our pitching staff, the young core of position players that we have, and what we have in our farm system coming up, we felt at the end of the day that making any changes as a general manager would set us back. Going to pause there for a dramatic effect. It's not what our fans expect. That's not what we expect. We're looking in 2026 to make the playoffs, period, full stop. We did not want to veer from that. We're pushing it all in to make sure we're able to make the playoffs in 2026. I'm getting a headache. And respectfully, I understand why I'm getting a headache. We felt at the end of the day that making any changes as a general manager would set us back. saying that as if the Pirates, having a worse record this year, which, he says that 2026 an all-in year for them. They said the same thing this time last year as well. 2025 was going to be the year, full year of Paul Skeens. They said that it was going to be an all-in year this year for the Bucs to make the playoffs. Yeah, that they sure showed a way of that happening. But, I guess you didn't want to rock the boat, setting the team back, changing the general manager. I guess it wasn't enough of a big of a setback that the team had a worse record this year than it did the previous 2 seasons. I guess it wasn't, enough of a setback that this team was this team is 365 and 505 under Ben Cherington's watch. I guess it wasn't, you don't want to set back the team enough by firing a manager who, by all accounts, literally look up the stat, one of the worst managers of all time. I think he's Shelton, remembering him now, second or third all time in losses as a manager with at least 700 games managed. So I guess all of that, that's just nothing. You don't want to, get any worse changing a general manager than that stuff there. So yeah, that's really nice and dandy. Going to get to a hell of an article today from Noah Hiles here in a minute. Real quick to the comments section. Joe Hakos. Welcome back, Joe. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. Hakos. Anyway, Kelly back is fine. Travis Williams kept saying the number are heading in a winning direction. Williams says Cherington has the resources to win. Don't believe him. Yeah, not sure I believe any of that either there, Joe. Saying the numbers are heading in the winning direction. The overall record of the team, that's not showing a winning direction. The tenure of this ball club under Cherington, that's not heading in the right direction. I'm sure all of the batting averages this year from what were supposed to be your key hitters, Brian Reynolds, O'Neal Cruz, Andrew McCutcheon, those guys, they had pretty bad years. Those numbers, they're really showing heading in the right direction. The only thing heading in the right direction here, and you say it in your next comment there, Joe, is the pitching staff. Skeens, Keller, will he be back? I don't know. Going to get to him in the extra Pittsburgh Sports News segment for a moment. But you got Skeens, Keller for the time being, Johan Oviedo, he came back and, had a okay, return to the big leagues. You got young guns all around, Bubba Chandler, Mike Burrows, Hunter Barco, Jared Jones, he's, injured right now, but he could be coming back at some point next year. Braxton Ashcraft, Bubba Chandler, if I did not mention him. So, yeah, you got the pitching staff more on the way. Seth Hernandez, Anthony Solometo, Thomas Harrington, if he ever figures it out. So, pitching is there, but everything else not going in the right direction with this team right now. Also, Cherington has the resources to win. I don't believe Williams feeding us that plate of BS either. I'll admit, Cherington, he is terrible. I am not absolving him of any sins. He is an absolutely horrendous, bum-ass general manager. However, the same thing goes for Derek Shelton. He was absolutely terrible at his job and deserved to be fired. Cherington deserves to be fired as well. However, not the most ideal situation for either of those two men when they got hired here. One of the cheapest owners in all of sports, the cheapest in all of baseball. More proof of why Bob Nutting is the cheapest owner in all of baseball coming up here in a minute. But the resources aren't there to win, aren't there for Cherington. Also, he could do better with what he's given. It's just all around, everyone's bad. No one's doing a good job. So, Joe again here, best pitching staff in the MLB, led the league in shutouts, ended 20 games under 500. Let's not forget though, Joe, led the game in shutouts. That's a two-edged sword there that the Pirates are. Yes, pitching staff, phenomenal. League leading 20 shutouts. Also, Offense, so abysmally bad that they finished under 500. They also led the league, or at least that, for most of the year were tied with the Colorado Rockies for getting shut out the most in baseball. So let's not forget that that either, Joe. Williams said the numbers pointing in winning baseball. They are not. He is going to guide the pitching staff to get some bats. Yeah, the pitching staff, I think, is going to get relied on just as heavy as they were this year. If the Pirates can just be an average team, that's all we're asking. Just average with the bats. That's all we're asking. An average offense in this team would be where the Cincinnati Reds are right now, heading to the postseason, facing off with the LA Dodgers. And who wouldn't want to see a series, that Pirates pitching staff against that Dodgers starting lineup? I know I would. But yeah, just get an average offense. Get a couple of bats. How these guys should be entrusted to guide this organization is, beyond me. Getting rid of pitching for bats, good bats. Last attempt to fool the fans. Honestly, I don't want to get rid of any pitching. If I would, probably Mitch Keller would be the most likely to go. I mean, I'm not even sure what Keller's trade value is right now. It's probably lower than what it was at the trade deadline. Keller, another year with a late season collapse, making a ton of money. But, Keller, if you can get a big league equivalent bat of Mitch Keller, I'd do it. Because, Keller, love you. Thank you for all you did. Your money can be used to go get bats out on the free agent market. And in addition to that, you'll bring back someone in the trade. So if Mitch Keller were to go, if anybody were to go pitching staff-wise, I think it'd be Mitch Keller. So, yeah, I mean, pitching staff, going to be good. Don't get rid of pitching to get good bats. If anyone, like a prospect, were to get let go of, there I'd say, like, Anthony Solometo, Thomas Harrington, someone like that. Because, starting rotation next year, Paul Skeens, lock. Bubba Chandler, lock. Braxton Ashcraft, I think he's, warranted a starting spot in the rotation, lock. So that's 3 guys locking it up right there. If you keep Keller or trade him, that's, a 4th pitcher. Johan Oviedo, he'll be fighting for a spot in the rotation, though he might get it. And then you got other guys, Barco, Burrows. Yeah, Majinski's still here. He was a starter for a little bit this year, so we'll see. Yeah. What to expect for next season with Cherington and Williams running things 30 games under 500 and less of a pitching arsenal. Yeah, Joe, 30 games under 500, that is very possible for the way the direction things are heading. And because of what I read today, getting back into actual news here. Today, Noah Hiles, Pittsburgh Post-Gazette Steelers beat writer, phenomenal job does Hiles covering this team. If you want to get top of the line news on this team from anybody, it is him. He today, a damning article, probably the most scathing, fire, brimstone article that I've read, and it's not even him taking the shots here. It is guys inside that clubhouse. Hiles' article on the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the 2025 Pirates never had a chance, and the players knew it. Here are some quotes from that article. These are from players and members of the clubhouse, of the team staff, even some, who work for the team. Players commented in this article here, and they chose to be anonymous for protection of their jobs. Couple of quotes here. First off, they talked about Derek Shelton and some of the things they said about Shelton. It was always someone else's fault, one player told the Post-Gazette. It was never his, never Derek Shelton's fault. Also, scroll down a little bit here. He should have been gone at the end of last year, one player told the Post-Gazette. Late in May, when he got fired, someone said he should have been gone last year. So Man, talk about losing the ship before a pitch was even thrown in spring training. Players were already checked out with this manager before the team even got to Bradenton, let alone to Miami in the first game of the season. So that right there, damn, DOA. That is as dead on arrival of a season as you can ever get there, where players were already saying, hey, we never really wanted Shelton to come back. Moving on to the owner, Bob Nutting here. And I'm sure they tie in Ben Cherington in that as well here. The players. This is from another anonymous player. We laugh, I'm quoting here, we laugh at all of this shit behind closed doors. They said about the situation. It's just a bad organization. Right to the top. That rock thrown right at the glass of Bob Nutting's office right there. So, yeah, shots fired across the bow there. Moving on here, a couple other quotes from players in Noah Heil's article. Go check him out, please. This is absolutely insane reading this. Everyone should read it. This right here on the payroll, so another, throw here at Bob Nutting. People think we're underachieving, one player told the Post-Gazette in early May. Look around here. We're playing to our potential. This is what $90 million gets you. Some of the teams we play aren't even trying to win. They're rebuilding, but still have a higher payroll than us. The same player noted later on, what do you think that tells us? True. True there, that quote. They did not underachieve. They did play to a $90 million baseball team that had a manager they didn't want since day one. Also, that's just so bad. Some teams are rebuilding and they still have higher payrolls than us. That tells you two things. One, how cheap Bob Nutting is, and also just the discrepancy in markets in baseball to where, even if the Yankees were to go through a rebuild, I bet you their payroll would still be above $150 million. So, yeah. And what does that think about us? Tells you that Bob Nutting, he is even more of an evil owner than the lady from Major League. He's just not putting money into the team, telling the players, basically, you guys suck. I don't want to win. I'm going to pocket all this money. Going to keep it at $90 million. And by the way, Hiles, if you didn't doubt it, also added in this article, payroll, one source told him, probably could even go down again in 2026. So an all-in year, according to Ben Cherington and Bob Nutting and Travis Williams. But through that, we're going to cut even more corners. We're going to pinch even more pennies and keep starving this team of getting a big league bat. So, yeah, absolutely outstanding article by Hiles. If I could give him a hug and a handshake, as well as these players for, putting out there for all to see just how inept, how unserious, how much of a hellhole this Pittsburgh Pirates organization is from the top down. I would. So, good job on them. Anyways, last couple things here from the Pittsburgh Pirates on this article. Just, terrible team that they just, keep doing that. They're unserious. They're shameless. They cannot be shamed. And I think we can, on here at least, I come on here all the time and I say, oh, we cover all three of the professional Pittsburgh sports teams, Penguins, Steelers, and Pirates. Might need to, reconsider saying that at the opening of just about every live stream, because clearly there is only two major professional sports teams in the city of Pittsburgh. One is just a minor league for the rest of the league. So that does that. A rotten end to a season from hell. Experiencing hell. If we're all going to hell one day, we better get, credit for time served for being Pittsburgh Pirates fans. This season comes to a whimpering end, mercifully. They sucked on the field. Derek Shelton got fired, even though he should have been in the offseason. Players confirmed that. Bucko bricks, fans falling from stands, the Clemente Wall thing, getting blown out, leading the league and getting shut out, as well as, shutting out teams. I think this team, if I remember correctly, they finished the season. If they were to play all of their road games, they would have lost 102 games. Absolutely horrendous on the road. They became officially an all-time losing franchise. And yeah, just one kick in the balls after another for this team. And the ride doesn't stop, and it will not stop in 2026. So I will see you all then. We'll cover, I'm going to be honest, now that we are in the baseball off season here, we're going to still talk on this channel a lot, mainly about the Penguins and the Steelers. At least, those two teams, the Steelers, they actually want to win. They're legitimately showing what an all-in season looks like. And the Penguins, yeah, sure, they'll probably suck, but at least we know that they are heading in the right direction as a franchise. So we'll at least have a little bit of joy watching those two teams. We will cover any other Pittsburgh Pirates news as it trickles in over the long baseball offseason, and then we'll pick this all up, this steaming pile of crap, when pitchers and catchers report in February. To the comment section we go here real quick. A couple of other comments in there. Joe Hakos again. Anything is possible. The Brewers, Cubs, and unbelievably the Reds all made the playoffs. Yeah, wanted to mention those guys as well to make things even worse this year for the Pirates. Yeah, 3 of their division rivals. Arguably their 3 most hated division rivals. I actually, respect the Cardinals. I love their fan base and how dedicated they are to just the game of baseball. They gave Paul Skeens a standing ovation when he exited the ball game, his first start there. So I actually, like the Cardinals, but those 3, your 3 most revered rivals in the division, all making the postseason. But yep, good job. I hope you're saying that sarcastically, Joe, about the state of this franchise, other than the pitching staff. Rest up for next season. Yeah, the upcoming season, no matter what they get on the open market or via trade to help the offense, it is going to be on the pitching to be lights out and have just as good, if not an even better performance than they did this year. A couple other things here. Lance 3-3. Welcome back, Lance. Hope they keep the pitching staff intact and bring in a few bats. The city would embrace them. Yeah, they definitely need to keep the pitching staff, especially the young core they got, intact. Bringing in a few bats, not sure what that's going to look like. Honestly, just thinking about it, we'll have a ton of time to think about who this team could possibly bring in. Just going position by position here. Do they do something at catcher? I don't know. Henry Davis, Joey Bart, Rafael Flores, who they got for David Bednar, is there, plus Andy Rodriguez. He's going to be, waiting in the wings, still dealing with injuries. I feel so bad for that kid. First base, I think they found their first baseman, Spencer Horwitz, easily the best Pirates hitter for, the past month or so of the season. He'll be back as the starting first baseman. Second base, Nick Gonzalez, Jared Triolo, whoever you want to put there. Third base, you could say, for the little bit of a hot spurt he had at the end of the year, you could put Tree there. But if I can go out and get a solid third baseman, like a Eugenio Suarez, just a brand name third baseman, like even if the Red Sox part ways with Alex Bregman in the twilight of his career, I'd go get him, because at least we know would be 10 times the hitter than anyone else the Pirates have brought in the past 3 years. So I would like them to go spend big on third base. Shortstop, Shortstop, no Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Again, that could be, Jared Triolo, Nick Gonzalez. My mind's going blank on who all the endless amount of middle infielders the Bucs have right now. I hope whoever it is, if they're going to spend, unless it's Bo Bichette, let me clarify that. Unless it's Bo Bichette, which he could be on his way out of Toronto, I'm riding the start of the season with Triolo or Gonzalez at shortstop, and then I'm waiting a couple months and getting Connor Griffin up to the big leagues if he doesn't make the team out of training camp. He is that good. So Griffin, he's going to fill one of those spots. I would like to see him. Outfield, left field. Do you bring back Tommy Pham for, him getting his eyes fixed and hitting the ball over creation? Maybe, but I'd still, add to that position because O'Neal Cruz, yeah, sure, he had a 2020 season, 35 stolen bases, but the bat's just too inconsistent, especially against lefties. Brian Reynolds still, found a way to put together a couple stretches of games here and there, but not a good season by him. So third base and corner outfielder. Those are my big spending positions. I'm going and getting one bat at each of those positions. Maybe you bring back an Andrew McCutchen, who knows, but yeah, hopefully that's the plan, and that they'll have the money and the brains to make those sorts of moves this offseason. Too bad Cuban and Ganassi did not buy the team before nutting. Cuban, yeah. I mean, Cuban, he pretty much, put perfectly why nutting will not sell the team. If I got paid $25 million a year to just go out there and stand on the sidewalk and get yelled at, I'd do it every day. That's pretty much what it's like owning the Pirates. So that not only, speaks volumes as to how little Bob Nutting cares about how the team does and what backlash he gets because he just views it as a cash cow, and how, other potential buyers of this team would possibly be scared away, So, yeah, Bubba looked great on Saturday, still hitting 100 in the sixth inning. Yeah, I like Bubba a lot. I think, you're looking, especially if Mitch Keller gets dealt, you're looking at your day 2 starter for the opening series next year. Great stuff from him. Was everything, he was advertised to be when he came up. However, is he going to hit 100, consistently? I don't think so. I hope he, continues to develop his command and his secondary pitches, because Skeens, he's an alien. Paul Skeens is an alien, but even he this year, not as much as we saw last year hitting 100 on the gun. He ended up becoming, just a cerebral assassin with his pitch arsenal and his command of it. So I hope Bubba takes a page out of his book and says, hey, I'm not going to be able to, go 30-ish starts a season and throw 100, in all of them. I got to develop my other stuff here. So I have hope for Bubba. I just hope that he realizes that, throwing 100 and blowing gas by guys isn't going to get you real far success-wise in the big leagues. Hank is Skeen's personal caddy, yeah. But, he was this year, but that's not to say that I'll be next year. Because Monty Grandal, he was Skeen's personal caddy last year. Hank was it this year. Who the hell knows who's going to be Skeens' caddy next year? That bond and that relationship, that's developed in, training camp, in spring training. So whoever you see catching Skeens for the first couple weeks of spring training, automatically assume that those guys are going to make the opening day roster. Last couple comments here before we move on here. Flacco, damn it, late. That's all right, Flacco. Welcome back as always. How would you feel about A.J. Brown or a DJ Moore as a wide receiver? At this point, with Calvin Austin going out a couple of weeks, I'm taking anybody. A.J. Brown, DJ Moore, Tyreek Hill, Jacoby Myers, Chris Olave, anybody. I'm taking anybody to help this wide receiver room right now. A.J. Brown, you get a similar guy to DK Metcalf, but are the Eagles really going to sell off anybody? No. DJ Moore, clearly the number one guy for for Caleb Williams. The Chicago Bears, they're playing all right now. He's not going anywhere. I'm looking at teams who suck, like the Dolphins, Raiders, Saints, even the Titans. Could I give a call for Calvin Ridley? Maybe. Those teams I'm looking more than for a wide receiver than anyone. Dunze is the number one now. Yeah, but they still use DJ Moore a good bit more than, what shows that he's in some sort of doghouse and could be a trade candidate. But as long as, they're in competition for that division right now, Metcalf is a freak. Keep feeding him the ball. Yes. Lunch or breakfast, lunch, and dinner. You just keep throwing that ball to Metcalf. Remember when George Pickens last year had the nose tape that said always effing open? Well, DK Metcalf, he might actually be it. I mean, 6'4", 235, runs like a track star. How can you not give that guy damn near multiple double-digit targets a game? Like, seriously. All right, ladies and gentlemen, last segment here, and then we will get into a little bit of, extra Pittsburgh sports news, and use 80 in the red zone as a jump ball guy. Yes, absolutely there as well. 7 of you in here right now, please hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, like, share, comment on this live stream. Last segment here of the, program here tonight with the Steelers and the Pirates having their big news. I am shocked, coming here on a Monday with this being really, the last thing I mentioned, only mentioning this for the first time, an hour, 24 minutes into stream here. The Pittsburgh Penguins, a very touching send-off Saturday night. The Pens, since we last spoke on Friday night, they had a preseason game, their, I believe, third preseason game against the Detroit Red Wings. They didn't really play too many guys there, just prospects and fourth liners. 3-2, they beat the Wings in that one. Philip Tomasino, a go-ahead goal plus an empty netter there. Good stuff from him. Philip Tomasino, a go-ahead goal. He looks like he's ready for the regular season. Tommy Novak impressed, had a couple of good chances, just couldn't finish. Robbie Fabry, he got a goal, could make a case for himself to make the opening night roster. And Artur Shalov's in goal for the Pens for half of that game. Solid outing for him. Let up one iffy goal in the preseason opener, but has been good since then. Good stuff in that win. Then Saturday night, after the Pens beat the Red Wings 3-2 the previous night, it was the farewell send-off for one Marc-Andre Fleury. The Penguins, full dress rehearsal just about. The big three, Crosby, Malkin, Letang played. Erik Karlsson, Ricard Raquel, Brian Rust, all the big guys playing in that one, plus a couple other stragglers. Sergei Murashov was the other goalie with Marc-Andre Fleury. Murashov got the start in goal, played the first 2 periods of the game, and he let up 1 goal, but man, really fitting. I said this, Friday, I think when the roster for this game was announced, very fitting that Sergei Murashov and Marc-Andre Fleury were the 2 goaltenders of that game. Murashov, very bright future, solid in the goal crease. Many saying that he reminds, reporters of a 2006 Marc-Andre Fleury, except he's just a catch with the right hand goaltender. So Murashov got the start, went 2 periods, only gave up a goal. Solid night for him. On to the festivities for Fleury himself. 2 hours before puck drop, half an hour before doors even open. This is for a preseason game, by the way. Lines to get into the building, wrapped all the way around and down, Fifth Avenue and stuff like that. So crazy showing for Fleury. It was a jam-packed house. Fleury, emotional, I'm sure, walking into the building. Pictures of him walking in with his suit on. Looked like, he was wearing his emotions on his face. Also, I believe the number 29 flower bouquet that was with him that was, put out for him when he returned to Pittsburgh for the final regular season game as the Minnesota Wild. That was back out, on the way to the locker room again for Fleury to see. So that was cool. Warm-ups, roar for Fleury, taking the ice. Got a similar roar when the team came out for the game. Did not make it all the way out the tunnel, for the pregame introductions, but he did go out on the ice. A fantastic picture there. Hang it in the Louvre of the national anthem being played. Crosby, Fleury, Malkin, Rust, Letang. Those 5 men, key players in that back-to-back Stanley Cup run in 2016 and 2017. All 5 of those men meaning a lot to me, and I'm sure all of us. Onto the game itself, aside from the pregame festivities from Fleury, lineup for the Pens, Crosby with Brian Rust and Avery Hayes. Another game where Avery Hayes, another day where he is on the line with Rust and Crosby. Not sure he's going to stay there or even make the team, but tells you a lot about what they think of that kid. Second line, though, talk about a big body line. Anthony Mantha, Evgeny Malkin, Justin Brazeau. What a size line right there. I want to say Mantha at 6'5". He might be the smallest of those, 3 right there. Third line here, this is where it gets interesting. Rickard Rakell on Saturday night, centering the third line with Ben Kindle and Ville Koivunen. So a veteran, normally winger in Rakell, centering 2 kids there. Fourth line, Tristan Brose, centering Boko Amama and Raphael Harvey Pinard. Defense, pretty much a dress rehearsal, except for maybe the third pairing of what we'll see opening night. Parker Wotherspoon paired with Erik Karlsson. That'll carry over into the regular season, I think. Caleb Jones with Chris Letang, and then the kids, Owen Pickering, Harrison Brunick. Puck dropped. More on Rickard Rakell, played center throughout the night. Also was killing penalties. Like seeing that. Rakell, I think he's a solid guy getting his stick into lanes, both shot and pass on the penalty kill. Also, let's say the Pens get, an opportunity to break one the other way, shorthanded. Rakell, bona fide goal scorer. You'd like to have him out there for that. Blue Jackets, like I mentioned, they ended up getting on the board early. Luca Del Bel Belouz put one past Sergei Murashov. That was a 2-on-1 shot right there. Nothing that Murashov could do there. Sidney Crosby got a goal back. Avery Hayes, nice pass to him through the neutral zone. Sid came in and, excellent stuff from him, putting it blocker side on Elvis Merzlikins. So his first goal of the preseason. Marc-Andre Fleury smiles there. Rickard Rakell, with time winding down in the second period, was able to finish off a power play for the Pens, tapping one home. Good night from him. And then after that, 2-1, number 29 takes his net for the final time. The fans just roar as he takes the ice and goes into net. There was a video tribute playing during that time. Crosby, Malkin, Letang giving Fleury some final words of thanks and gratitude. Anyways, Fleury goes into the game, fans chanting every time he touches the puck. They were chanting one more year. Eventually, as the clock was winding down, they turned into thank you Fleury chants. The final stat line for Fleury: stopped all 8 shots he was tasked with, and the Pens ended up putting in 2 more goals. One more year, 4-1 was the final score there. Typically, couldn't have ended it any other way. A shootout, even though the Pens won 4-1, took place. Fleury stopping 2 of 3 of those. One stop, I believe it was Cole Sillinger for the Jackets, rang it off the post. Fleury giving his post some love like normal. And Luca Del Bel Belouz for the Jackets scored on Fleury, the final shot there, which is all right. Fleury wouldn't have ended his career any other way as the competitor he is. But that was it. 8 of 8 stopped for Fleury. he gets the win, stops 2 of 3 in the shootout. Went around then after the guys on the ice came to greet him one last time, took his sweet time to skate around the ice, gave his appreciation and waved to the fans. They gave it right back. Surprisingly enough, I'd say that with a sarcastic tone. Flower, first star of the game, got to say his final pieces to the fans and called it a career there. Wraps up a career where he won 1,051 games. He played 1,051 games. Second most regular season games played in NHL history. 575 regular season wins, second in NHL history. 170 playoff games played, third in NHL history. 92 playoff wins, third in NHL history. 3-time Stanley Cup champion. Just an outstanding career. That Flower gets to wrap up. Also, forgot to mention this pregame. Got a picture with Malkin and Crosby and Letang out there on the ice, all of them in their Pens jerseys. If they were to ever, put a statue up outside PPG Paints Arena, other than the Mario Lemieux one, I'd pick that one, that picture. Those four together, defining multiple generations of success in Penguins hockey. So, with that, thank you, Fleury. Enjoy retirement. Hell of a career. Thank you for all you did for me, for my generation. We grew up watching you guys, and thank you for getting us into loving the game of hockey. So, with that, that will end the normal, main segments of Pittsburgh sports news. Here tonight, we'll get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news here in a second. Real quick, let's just go to the comment section again. A couple other ones here from Lance 33. Lance again, back to football. Use 80 in the red zone as a jump ball guy. Yeah, they say that they want to use him that way, but I haven't seen it too much yet. But hey, he is clearly being used a lot right now, so it'll come. The red zone jump ball stuff, it'll come. Also back to hockey here, says Lance. Agree, that was a very high class send off for the Flower. Always a good teammate. It was perfect, and then some. So from the practice to the game itself, just perfect. And I'm sure this isn't going to be the last we see of Marc-Andre Fleury. He's not going to be one of those ex-players that just goes off the grid, fades off into the abyss that you never hear him or hear from them or see them again until, unfortunately, the team posts a graphic one day that they passed away. No, I think Fleury, he'll stay in Pittsburgh first and foremost. The city loves him. He loves the city. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. Who the hell knows? Maybe he'll get involved with the Penguins somehow one day, but let's let him go out and enjoy his retirement first and foremost. All right, 5 of you in here right now. Please hit that subscribe button. Before we take one last stroll here through into the extra Pittsburgh sports news, I would appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. Real quick, gonna go and take a scroll here through Twitter, see if we have missed anything new since we've been live here for about over an hour and a half now. Pittsburgh Penguins in action right now, by the way. We're going to get to that in a minute here. Seeing more and more stuff about Ben Cherington being back as seeing Ben Cherington back as Bucs GM. Real quick here, seeing we're going to get into some football news and some injuries here in a second. On an injury front, this kind of relates to the Steelers. Joe Alt, left tackle for the Los Angeles Chargers, a high ankle sprain for him. He'll seek various opinions to determine how long he'll be out. Steelers, they play the Chargers in about 6 weeks. So we'll keep an eye on that situation. Anyways, here, let's get into the extra Pittsburgh sports news of the day. Penguins, like I just mentioned, they are in action right now. Their preseason game is underway. Lineup tonight in that preseason game, again, they've been going with this group, a bunch of, guys who are prospects and, bottom 6 players fighting for roster spots. Tommy Novak, Philip Tomasino, Philip Hollander, line 1. Line 2, how about this kid line? Ville Koivunen, Ben Kindle at center, Avery Hayes on the wing. Like that line a lot. As a matter of fact, reason why I was, stuttering my words there, Ben Kindle gets his first NHL goal. Got the Pens on the board 1-0 in that game. I'll check the score here in a second. Third line, Sam Poulin, Robbie Fabry, Danton Heinen, Boko Amama, Yuna Koppanen, who's back from injury, and Valtteri Puustinen. The fourth line defense, Ryan Graves, Jack St. Ivany. That could be an opening night pairing. Same thing for Ryan Shea and Matt Dumba. Alexander Alexiev and Chase Pytila, the final defensive pairing there. Tristan Jarry in net for the Pens right now. And real quick, let me do a checking here of the time and the score. So it is still 1-0 Pens. That is in the with 4 minutes, 15 seconds left in the first period. Jarry going to go the length, going to go the distance tonight, according to Dan Muse. So he's going to get a full start, probably a warm-up for him for the regular season coming up here, beginning on the 7th. Some more news from the Pens in their training camp from the past couple of days. They did make some training camp roster cuts back on Friday. Saturday, excuse me. They assigned these players to Wilkes-Barre Scranton: Ravis Ansons, David Breazeal, Tommy Budnick, Kyle Criscuolo, Braden Edwards, Zach Gallant, Max Graham, Brent Johnson, Jordan Kaplan, Gabe Klassen, Daniel Latch, Brett Murray, Maxime Pavlenko, Emil Pianiemi, Zach Erdahl. Going to be honest, don't know too many of those names there. Gallant scored a goal in a preseason game, I know. At Gabe Klassen, I remember them signing him. Maxim Pavlenko, the goaltender, the most noteworthy name there. Emil Pianiemi, former high-round pick by the Pens. They additionally today cut 4 more players and sent them down on their way to Wilkes-Barre, which their training camp starts soon. I do know that. Finn Harding, another solid prospect defenseman. He got sent down. Atlee Calvert, Aaron Huglin, and Nolan Renwick. Those guys going to Wilkes-Barre. Pens yesterday held a scrimmage with the guys who were left that did not get sent down to Wilkes-Barre. Everyone who played in, Saturday night's game played. Everyone who played in Friday night's game, so an inter-team scrimmage right there. Couple things from Dan Muse. Said that it is status quo with Rucker McGroarty and his recovery from an undisclosed injury. He's been out all of training camp. His recovery plan continuing as scheduled. So McGroarty definitely not going to be ready for the beginning of the regular season. Will probably be out a little bit into the regular season if I had to guess. So that sucks for that young kid. Also, he said Noel Acciari and Yuna Koppanen remain day-to-day. Acciari, he's been skating in a non-contact jersey. Or no, they are cleared for contact. Acciari on the way back. Koppanen, he's in the lineup tonight, so apparently they're all good. And last couple things here. First time we, really seen Dan Muse and Sidney Crosby having a discussion on the ice today. I wonder what they were talking about. Crosby ended up scoring at the end of practice in the shootout, beating Sergei Murashov. Murashov, by the way, said that he would say it was inspiring, learning from Fleury for the couple of days he was here. Said that he showed up and those couple of days were a huge energy on the ice, off the ice from him. He thinks that everyone got the feeling of joy, having fun like that. So That's cool there from Murashov. Last two notes here for the Pirates, just real quick. I guess we can, now what going to be soon to be a week out from the season opener against the New York Rangers. So we'll keep an eye on them. Mike Sullivan today saying he has no update on an injury suffered by JT Miller, the new Rangers captain, also a Pittsburgh native. He's being evaluated, so we'll keep an eye on that. And the last thing here for the Pens today, don't know why they felt the need to announce this. They announced that First National Bank, FNB, is their official jersey patch partner for all home and away games this year. Okay, they're just now announcing that. They've had the patches on for a while now, so kind of weird. They're just now announcing it. Anyways, back to the extra Pittsburgh sports news on the baseball side of things here. We mentioned all of the Steelers or the Pirates' most hated division rivals making the playoffs. What we did not mention, I should have put this in somewhere with the news of Ben Cherington staying as general manager. This was last night. This was posted. Let me get the time here at 6:59 p.m. So this is after pretty much right after the Pirates' final regular season game. Andrew McCutchen. Rarely does he post to his Twitter, but he decides to post this GIF right here. Let me pop it up for you. This right here from Kutch. Post this GIF. This video here, him staring blankly off into the distance there. This is not him staring into the distance. This was back a couple months ago when the Bucs were in San Diego and they got absolutely screwed on a strike three call to Henry Davis. Donnie Kelly got tossed. Kutch stood there waiting for the home plate umpire to come off the field to the umpire's locker room right beside the Bucs dugout. So he posted this without any sort of caption, no context. I'm sure all Pirates fans are confused and, speculations are running rampant right now about what he means by this. Does he mean, is that a look of, I'm taking one last look at the field because my career is done, I'm retiring? Is it I'm sick and tired of the BS here going on with this Pirates organization? Would not doubt me 100% that he is one of those anonymous players in that article from Noah Hiles. Did the Pirates, in record time say, hey, we're not planning on bringing you back, and he's like contemplating on his time as a Pirate? I don't know what that is, but yeah, we are going to we're going to come back to this one day with whatever happens with Kutch in the offseason. You best believe that we are going to circle back to that GIF right there and whatever it could mean. Anyways, last couple things here for extra Pittsburgh Pirates news. I said earlier we'd come back to Mitch Keller. Alex Stumpf, another good Pirates beat writer for MLB.com. This is from Saturday. Said that before the trade deadline, Mitch Keller was very aware he could have been traded. However, when he made his final start on Friday, the feeling of him getting traded was not existent. So amid those rumors, his hope to win here, at least according to Stumpf, Keller does not expect to be traded in the offseason. We will see. Keller said, quote, "It's why I signed my extension here. I felt like we were on the right track." Kind of curious or interesting that he used the past tense. I felt like we were on the right track. Wonder if he feels that way now. So, yeah, that's another big question for the Bucs this offseason. Will they bring in anybody? Will Andrew McCutchen come back? And will Mitch Keller be a Buck next year? Last extra Pittsburgh Pirates news story here of the day. Congratulations to former Pittsburgh Pirate Michael A. Taylor. He officially retiring, hanging up the cleats after a 12-year career. Spent a good bit of last year with the Buccos, so congratulations to him on a long 12-year MLB career. wrapping up here with just a couple of Pittsburgh Steelers extra news stories, ladies and gentlemen. Mentioned this yesterday on the game stream, but I felt it didn't get, the attention or sincerity that it deserves. But thank God, Skylar Thompson is all right. Yesterday before kickoff, Tom Pelissero and many other NFL insiders reported that Friday night, Skylar Thompson, Steelers' emergency third quarterback, currently on injured reserve, was jumped and robbed in Dublin, Ireland. Thompson, no major injuries, only minor injuries suffered, and he was, okay, was out there with the team on the sideline for the game Sunday, so that's good to hear. Burt Lawton, Steelers spokesperson, said, quote, "We are aware of the situation involving Skylar Thompson on Friday night in Dublin. We will have no further comment at this time as we are working with NFL security to gather more information regarding the incident." A couple players, I think, post-game got asked about it. They went the same route, no comment. But I think I saw something today, forgot to save it. I think no formal complaint will be filed by the Steelers. But, regardless of it, situations like that, very scary. Just glad that Thompson is back here stateside and in one piece after that. Speaking of injuries, I know terrible transition here. The Baltimore Ravens, man, they are hobbling right now. Probably, literally. I mean, talk about the biggest threat to the Steelers and vice versa. These two teams, I think it's, pretty clear cut that these two teams, they are going to be competing with each other for the top of the AFC North. But the Ravens, not only did they lose yesterday to the Kansas City Chiefs to now go to 1-3 on the season, they are losing off the field. Just going to run through all their injuries real quick. The big one, Lamar Jackson leaves the Chiefs game yesterday early with a hamstring injury. We do not know the severity of that hamstring injury yet, but we do know that Cooper Rush did have to finish the game for Baltimore. A just as big blow for the Ravens on Saturday. Ravens placed their best defensive lineman, Nnamdi Madubuike, on injured reserve with a neck injury. So they placed him on IR Saturday. Today, more bad news. He is out for the season with that neck injury. A couple other ones here. They're starting their best linebacker, Roquan Smith, a grade 2 hamstring strain for him, a few week injury there. Their top corner, arguably, Marlon Humphrey, calf injury for him, couple week injury as well. Nate Wiggins, a young corner for them, elbow injury, had to be carted off the field for the Ravens yesterday. Probably going to be a couple week injury from them. Some others injured. Their starting left tackle, Ronnie Stanley. Their starting fullback, Patrick Ricard. Another defensive tackle in Broderick Washington. Nose tackle, Travis Jones. Their best outside linebacker, Kyle Van Noy. He is out too. So just, 10 starters dealing with injuries for the Ravens. And more, it doesn't sound like it's going to end. They're banged up at multiple spots, even beyond these 10 starters. So, yeah, not a good start to the season for the Ravens. They're injured to hell. They're 1-3. And who knows where these guys are going to be in their recovery by the time the Steelers roll around on the schedule. But if you're the Steelers, you just got to keep on winning. Ravens, they're down right now. They're not out of it yet. I'm not going to count out the Ravens yet, saying, they're not going to win the division or make the playoffs here. But, you got an excellent chance here with them losing games to string together wins and get way up ahead of this race in the AFC North. A couple other injury updates here, sort of relating to the Steelers. We mentioned on here the New York Giants announcing that they will be starting their rookie, Jackson Dart, for the rest of the season. Dart suffered a hamstring injury yesterday playing the Chargers. Russell Wilson came into the game, but then I think Dart went back in. Anyways, something to monitor, the hamstring injury for Jackson Dart. that quarterback situation does relate to the Steelers in the compensatory pick department. So if Wilson can get back in there for a couple more games, the odds of the Steelers getting a better compensatory pick goes way up. Also, man, Giants, Malik Neighbors, knee injury, out for the year, ACL tear. Man, that's rough there. Last injury news bit here for today. Former Steelers punter Cameron Johnston, Corliss Waitman nearly beat him out in the preseason punting competition. Johnston ended up signing with the Buffalo Bills, I believe in week 2. Now, sadly, this man can't catch a break. Lower leg injury for him, is expected to miss some time. Probably will go on IR. That just absolutely sucks for him. I hope, nice guy. It was a close competition between the punters. I would have been happy with whoever made it there. But yeah, that brutal knee injury he had last year for the Steelers, and now this on top of it. I feel bad for the guy. Last bit of Steelers news here for the day, going into the college world, which, hey, I mean, that was, included in the absolutely insane sports weekend we're coming out of. The Steelers confirmed to have had scouts at the Pitt Louisville and Utah WVU football games. So, not sure what the Steelers could have been scouting at Pitt Louisville, which my Pitt Panthers, they just had an absolute stinker blowing a lead. But, Utah WVU, don't know what exactly they'd be looking for there. And certainly, I don't think in any of these matchups there's some super high prospect quarterback. So maybe doing some, catch up on recruiting some other positions, scouting some other positions. Who knows? Okay, ladies and gentlemen. All right, going to take one last stroll here through Twitter before we wrap things up for the evening. See if we have any last trickling bits of news in here before we wrap it up today. Just a real quick update on the Pens game. Ben Kindle, his lone goal in the first period. That's the exact score. 1-0 Pens after 1 in that game. So good job on Ben Kindle there. See, is there anything else here? Anything else? Nope, not really seeing it. So, all right. I think that is going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Appreciate you all joining me here tonight. Long ass stream. This was an absolutely stacked live stream here tonight. Tons to talk about for all three teams. I thank you all who have stayed with me throughout the night, bearing with me through all of it. Just tons and tons of news. Now, hopefully, we can, take a breather for the next 24 hours until something else happens. But anyways, thank you. Appreciate you all. Final time, please subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. We are at 564 subscribers on the channel. Gained 2 new subscribers here tonight. I appreciate it. To Flacco, real quick in the comments here. Good to see who's out there for wide receiver. Maybe another running back. Again, I don't think running back Kenneth Gainwell, I think just, solidified his spot. And, Caleb Johnson, he got a couple of looks. So I think running back will be all right. Wide receiver, though, complete and total different story, my man. So with that, thank you. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so that you never miss when I'm live again. Like this live stream. Share it. Leave a comment after the fact. I see those. Go give the channel a follow at Steel City SR on Facebook, Instagram, and X. And at some time later tonight, not sure when, not sure, what I'll say in it, but a new edition of SCSR 60 coming up here later on this evening. Thank you. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. Back here tomorrow with some more Pittsburgh sports news. Peace.